Welcome to another installment of Leadership Landscape, where we go inside the minds of local community leaders and allow them a chance to offer some keen insights into how they see themselves and, most importantly, explore just what makes them tick. I'm Kurt Jacobs, host of Leadership Landscape, where previous interviews have included leaders from the world of politics, religion, business, sports, law, community activism, and civic engagement. Today, our guest is Joseph Pusateri, better known as Joe. He's president and owner of Elite Homes Incorporated. Now, for those of you who don't know our guests, allow me to read some of their bio. Joe has been an important part of the Louisville community for over 3 decades. Founded in 1976, Elite Homes designs, builds, or remodels custom homes ranging from $250,000 to over $1 million. Impressive. Joe has stated, quote, "There is something special about building something. There are a lot of people who work very hard all their lives," I really like this, "and can't show you what they've done, especially if they are in a service business. There's no tangible evidence of anything they've done. I can show you hundreds of houses we built and show you people out in their yards with their kids, with their animals, washing their cars, and know that Elite Homes has been a big part of all of their lives at some point. That is special." In 1993, he bought Homerama to Smoketown, where it was the first new homes built in this neighborhood in over 50 years. In 1997, under his leadership, the Louisville Area Chamber of Commerce's inaugural Business Expo was the largest chamber-sponsored trade show in the nation. In 2003, he stepped forward to organize a rescue package to help save the Louisville Orchestra from certain bankruptcy. In 2006, he negotiated a new 5-year collective bargaining agreement with the Musicians Union, which stabilized the Louisville Orchestra's finances. But what may be his most notable accomplishment came in November of 2007, when his company built a home for Patrick Henry Hughes and the Extreme Makeover Home Edition TV show. Now, too numerous to mention all, but some of Joe's notable community accomplishments are: he started Louisville's Best New Homes TV show for the Home Builders Association. He served as president of the Home Builders Association for Louisville from 1990 to 92. And unless I stand corrected, he's the only person elected twice as president in the 60-plus year history of the association. Board member of Greater Louisville, Inc., Salvation Army, Leadership Louisville, Fund for the Arts, Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame, and King Southern Bank, and was elected president of the Louisville Orchestra during its fiscal crisis. Now, unless you have witnessed it, and I have, and what many may not know is Joe has given hundreds of speeches on a wide range of topics. His talks are funny, fast-moving, and inspirational, and loaded with important lessons, useful to the audience both in their business and personal lives. No matter what mood you are in that day, I've witnessed it, whether he is talking about how he was called to rescue the Louisville Orchestra in 2003, or how in 2007 Elite Homes was asked to build an entire new house in just 4 days. By the time Joe is done talking to you, you will want to go out and conquer the world. Joe and his family reside in Louisville, and in, imagine this, a custom-built home built by him and for his family. Go figure.
Thanks for those nice words. I didn't know, you never asked me about a biography, so I didn't know where you got all that.
Yeah, Joe, welcome to Leadership Landscape. It's great having you on here.
Glad to be here.
You have a very unique style of leadership, so it's quite a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
What drives you to do this? I mean, a lot of the leaders we have on the show are kind of one-dimensional is not fair, but you seem to be in the arts and obviously the home building. What is that? What drives you?
One thing would be a challenge.
Okay.
I like I like lost causes or hopeless causes or things that that require some extraordinary measures. That motivates me. In fact, any jobs that I've had before I was a home builder, unless I was constantly moving up the chain and getting new challenges thrown in front of me, my performance would begin to decline. And
okay.
Also, I want to maximize my talents, and God gave me with certain ability, certain mental ability, and I want to use it to its fullest and try to, the best I can, inspire other people to use their talents as well.
Whom do you credit most influential in your life, Joe? It can be more than one person, personal or professional.
I got a few. I mean, your parents, of course, and as I was growing up, my parents, I was the first born of 7, and they always had told me, that I was smart, that I could do anything I wanted to do. They held me to a very high standard, which I thought maybe was too high at the time, but now it's having that high of a standard as a child has really helped me as an adult.
Okay.
My wife, who I used to listen to a song by Cat Stevens called Hard-Headed Woman, and it said, I'm looking for a woman who can make me do my best, and if I can find that woman, my life would be blessed. And I found that woman.
That's great.
And when I was also young, I owned a book called Think and Grow Rich, which I probably read 100 times by Napoleon Hill. And one of his success principles is a mastermind group. And Ray Donhauer, used to own Donhauer Plumbing, and Richard Boland, of Boland Lumber Company, have been two people that have been important to me for business things with my company, things that might have come up while running my company. Once I got involved in the orchestra in 2003, I kind of adopted David Jones, the founder of Humana, as my mentor for community service. And many times I would call him, ask if I could come down and tell him what's on my mind and ask for his advice. So quite a few people.
What was the most defining moment of your life, Joe? It can be more than one, personal or professional.
Okay, well, I can think of two. One would be when I got out of high school. I went to college because that's what middle class or upper middle class kids did, was they went to college. And at the time, you also got a college deferment, which kept you from being drafted for the Vietnam War. And when I went to college, I got in trouble, and I had to decide, am I going to make my life count for something, or am I just going to squander it? And probably a more important defining moment was when I met my current wife. And, in fact, Ray Donhauer had introduced us, and I started dating her, and I thought it was going pretty good. And after a couple of dates, she said, "There's no reason to call anymore." And I said, "Well, why? I thought we were doing pretty good." And she said, "Well, I would never get serious about a guy who does not go to church." And I said, "Well, I mean, what time are you going this weekend?" And I'm
laughing with you.
And I started going to church so I could stay eligible to date her, which is not a good reason to go. I mean, but it started to stick. And, and after going there, I eventually accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I got baptized, and I got married at the church. And in fact, when we got married, I think the over and under was about 2 years, and we've been married 12 years now.
That's awesome. That's great.
People that know me before I met her and after, know that there was a big change.
What is your biggest professional regret, Joe? It can be more than one. It can be personal or professional. Regret's a strong word. It could be disappointment.
I really don't know that I have any. I mean, I've certainly lost my temper when I shouldn't have. I have been impatient. I have.
You're human.
I've jumped to conclusions without gathering all the facts. But of the things that I've done wrong, hopefully I've learned from them, and all of them together are the culmination of where I am right now. So I kind of like Satchel Paige said, you don't look back because somebody might be gaining on you. I mean, I've made plenty of mistakes, but I don't really have anything that I regret. I just figure I learned from that. I will be better down the road. I'll learn and I'll do better.
On the flip side of that, Joe, what is your biggest professional triumph? Again, it can be personal. It can be more than one.
Well, probably the two that I'm most well known for, I also consider professional triumphs. One would be getting involved with the Louisville Orchestra in 2003.
Great story.
And in 2003, Louisville had merged government, and I was looking for some way to give back to the community in a real significant way. And when something came up in the paper that the orchestra had missed a payroll and might be in some jeopardy, I got goosebumps. And I didn't understand why, because I didn't particularly like classical music. I was not a musician. But every time I heard about the orchestra in the news or on the TV, I felt like that I was supposed to play a role in that and to get involved in it, which I ultimately did do, and was able to help keep the orchestra out of bankruptcy. The other one would be in 2007 in September, when ABC and the producer from the Extreme Makeover home TV show called me and asked us if our company would be the builder for a home that they wanted to build in Louisville.
What was that? I just want to kind of get your insight. What was that feeling like when you hung the phone up from that phone call? You don't have to get into the details of what they asked of you. We'll talk about that in a moment. But what did that feel like? I mean, I'm just curious.
Well,
as
real
a
quick.
leader.
Well, first somebody reminded me that they'd been calling for about 3 days, and and I had not taken the call, and I'd been called by other TV shows on cable, and I didn't really realize the significance that this was a top-rated show on ABC, and so. When he asked me to do it, and it was in September, and I said, well, when is it supposed to be done? He said, December. I said, well, that's not enough time. And he said, well, that's plenty of time. Other builders have done it. You can do it. And I said, well, who would I be building the house for? And he said, Patrick,